There is a brand new Indian spy action thriller movie that came out last Wednesday, and I have been really excited to check out this movie, but I had to watch a couple of other movies in this massive franchise that I didn't know about before I could check out this movie, so here is my review of Pathaan. So over the past year, I've been going out of my way to watch more foreign films because I think it's really important to talk about, especially on the channel, and to get more American audiences to check out these foreign films because you don't know what's good until you see it or you hear about it. I was really excited to check out this movie based on the trailer alone and all the money that this movie has made, where it's probably going to be the highest grossing Indian film to be released in the North America, which is an insane accomplishment, and I think this movie deserves it because Pathaan was an awesome kick-ass action film. This is what I would want from a modern day spy thriller film that gives you all of the insane, awesome, well choreographed action, decent characters, a great big budget, and you feel like you are in for a ride. So let's just dive into some of the positives I have with this movie, and I do have to start with the action sequences. This is easily the biggest positive I could give this film, and if you're someone who's an action junkie like myself, then you just got to see this movie just for the action. It is so well choreographed, it is so well shot, the editing is really good, and it is also a big improvement in this series where I felt like pretty much every single film from the first film with Ek the Tiger, it gets better as it goes along. There was a lot of directing choices and so much slow-mo that was in the first Tiger film that made it so annoying to watch. Even though I thought that movie was just okay, but so much of it was let down by the really annoying presentation behind it. And in this film, when the slow motion is used, it is used the way it should be and using it for some really cool ass moments. This movie also has a ton of hand-to-hand combat scenes, which is definitely an improvement from the other films, and it looks incredible. This movie is so over the top, but to be honest with you, it looks so cool. It's so well shot. There's so much emotion and tension that I was actually caring about everything I was watching on the screen, and I was getting chills watching this movie. I could not believe how cool this movie was. One of the biggest improvements from the other films in the series is the characters, as I'm a really big fan of Tiger and Zoya, but Pathaan, yeah, Pathaan is the real deal, as I think he's going to be the face of this franchise and absolutely should be. He was incredible. I also thought Robai was excellent in this film as well, as she was very heavily compared to Zoya from the Tiger series, but she was awesome. I also found the performance in this movie were really good from everybody, as they all fit these characters so perfectly, and they're very engaging. Like, you wouldn't expect this from an action movie franchise because it doesn't always have the best acting, but in this movie I thought it was pretty top notch. And I also found that there were so many cinematic moments in this movie that gave me so much like tension and ready to kick someone's butt. Like, this movie made me feel inspired. The cinematography in this movie is excellent, and it's probably the best of the series. Like, it looks so good, especially in the third act where these two characters are fighting in this house. I thought that the cinematography was very reminiscent from the Hero-gasm episode of The Boys season 3, and the emotion was just like that episode too, and I thought it looked great. This whole movie was just very stylish, clean cut, felt like it had a big budget, but it utilized it as perfectly as it did. The music in this movie is also my favorite of the series so far, as it was very bombastic, it was loud, it fit perfectly with the action. Surprisingly, I only have a few negatives with this movie, and I do have to start with the story, as it is a very typical spy action thriller film, whether it ranges from James Bond, Mission Impossible, or even the later Fast and Furious films. And it's not bad by any means, but it's not a complicated or really layered type of movie. It's a very standardized movie. There's also supposed to be a surprise twist that happens in a certain point of the film, and I found it to be insanely obvious because they have used this certain twist before, like in the first movie. There's also a certain point in the middle of the movie where a certain character goes away, and we're supposed to feel like, wow, we haven't seen this character in a while, we need this character back, but it goes by so fast in like 2 minutes that it doesn't really feel like this character was gone all that long, and they don't really dive into what happened during this time. So I was honestly confused of why the characters were like, oh, we haven't seen you in like this amount of time, and you just don't really feel that impact. And my last negative with this movie is probably some of the more annoying use of the music and some bad cuts here and there, and there are times where the dialogue is really cliche, even though I found this movie to be the funniest out of the whole series, and there are a few times where the visual effects aren't as perfect. These are just some of the nitpicks that I had that I feel like each movie has gotten better over time, and so when we get a movie like Pathaan 2 or Tiger 3 later this year, I think that these movies are going to look and sound more professional. And the one tiny negative I have with this film that I've had with a few other films is that there's just this long, and I mean very long, music video type of montage with all the characters in the movie all looking very attractive, and it just goes on for so long, and it's so unnecessary. Like, you take it out of the movie, nothing changes. Overall, Pathaan was a really awesome spy thriller action movie that I am a really big fan of the spy genre, so of course I'm gonna like a movie like this, but I feel like this movie was a really good time seeing it in the theater with characters that I am really invested in. It felt like so much love and care that went into this movie, especially with how many of the action scenes are designed and choreographed, and it's so over the top that it doesn't feel too silly, that it has that right balance. And I think that if you're somebody who is really curious of checking out this movie, go see it. I think it will be a great use of your money, and I hope more American audiences can support a movie like this. Thank you guys so much for checking out this review. As I want to know below in the comment section, have you heard of this movie Pathaan? And if you have, are you going to watch the other movies that are on Amazon Prime Video? I think you should. It is worth it. Let me know all your thoughts. Before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like as you should, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in the following video.